So back in 2021, we had an installment called Fiscally Focused.
Okay.
And it's cool to have an iteration now because we're like 4 years removed.
Wow.
And eerily similar, there are a lot of uncertainties in the financial landscape.
Like what?
Inflation,
Okay.
similar to 2021. That obviously goes with the cost of goods.
Sure.
People worry about their financial portfolios
Mm-hmm.
and the accumulation of it. So now we get to come back here. We'll probably bring Brad in one of these days as well.
I don't know about Brad, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, Brad's a co-founder of Fiscally
Brad's
Focused,
cool.
right? So I need, the people know me, Jeremy.
Sure.
So I need you to introduce yourself.
That was a great segue, by the way.
That's what I do. It's natural.
I'm Jeremy. I'm a wealth advisor, and I'm here with Jonathan. And we're just here. What are we doing? Podcast?
This would be considered a podcast. We have mics,
Yes.
lighting,
Yes.
camera,
Yes.
producer John.
Producer. She's behind the scenes. She needs to be on the camera, but she's shy.
So, hey guys, I'm John Fuentes. You know me.
Who doesn't know you?
I know I'm very popular, domestically known.
Mr. International.
The first topic we should get into is something that our clients usually share with us:
I think the inflation is good.
inflation.
But I think other than, everyone wants to make money in the market with their retirement. But if you just look at it just from, it just affects everyone, right? Like if you look at how much you have a family.
Yup.
You see how much your food bill is, I'm guessing. Probably
Sure.
doubled or tripled. Well, with the way that you've been eating, probably
Everything.
quadrupled, but
Quadruple.
yeah, like what have you seen? In the fact that
So I think the biggest concerns are always the front line of the budget.
right.
So I try to educate people that it's not so much about what you're doing on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
The front end is really important because the back end is your net. So
Right.
if you can increase your margin in the beginning, similar to these businesses and other operations, if everyone treats their operation like that, then you would have more in the back end to be able to offset, let's say, the rising cost of inflation.
Like I know with me, and I'm sure you've had this. Have you had clients ever ask you like, all right, I'm working, I'm getting paid X amount of dollars, the prices are going up, how the hell do I combat it?
Correct. Well, you can't because inflation is inflation.
Right?
But what?
So should they get like a second job, third job?
Oh, that's crazy. You don't work harder. You always work smarter. So, first thing is always expense cutting and cutting off the fat of things.
Right.
Right. It's similar to your diet. How do you show up your calories? Right. You're always in the gym and stuff like that. Do you have a cheat weekend? You have a cheat week? Or most people have a cheat day. So if they utilize that same thinking with
Right.
their own budgets, then you'll be able to do it. Right? It seems.
I hope so.
It seems so simple.
It is.
Yet
Sometimes the
people
most
make
simple
it
things are the
so
most complicated,
complex.
for sure.
It's
For sure.
like
It's like trying 5 different diets.
just spend less money. That's literally
that makes
the
sense.
answer.
That's very true.
Remember when the whole streaming epidemic started and they were talking about cord cutting with cable?
Yeah, for sure.
I had a vision. I said, we're going to have all these different streaming platforms, and then one day they're just going to have like a conglomerate, and it's going to be like new cable. So I call all the streaming stuff new cable. Because before you were saving money by cutting the cord, and you got like $6.99. Remember Netflix was $6.99?
It was
They
$6.99.
would send you out the DVDs for the exclusive stuff.
I remember
it was
that.
$8.99 if you were really premium. Netflix plug. See if we get sponsored. Right? So now it's like, isn't Netflix like $12?
I think so.
Right?
Yeah, it's
And
like
you
what?
have
Yeah, and now they cut off the users.
HBO Max, you
$10,
got Hulu, you
Hulu,
got Disney,
Peacock.
So essentially, what you just did was create cordless cable.
And then if you add up all the costs, you're probably paying more
You're probably paying more,
and watching a quarter of the
Exactly.
programs.
right? But hey, you get to save on commercials, but no more because Amazon has commercials. Do you know Amazon Prime has commercials?
Yes, it's annoying. And you shouldn't have Amazon if you're gonna have commercials. Don't do it.
It's
Just don't sign up.
What are you paying per month for?
Don't sign up.
Wasn't the purpose of like HBO in the beginning to not have commercials?
If you're gonna watch a TV show that's supposed to be 30 minutes, it's gonna be 45 minutes with commercials. Don't watch it.
You know, you got the 22-minute runtime. Like, no, it's a 30-minute program, but it's a 22-minute runtime. So that's how they get us, and it's a cycle, right? So we see it once again, right? We did Fiscally Focused 4 years ago. Now it's 4 years removed, and we're talking about the same things we were talking about 4 years ago.
Right.
So it's a cycle, just like the economy. You have your peaks, you have your troughs, right? And it goes up and down, similar to the stock market.
Sure.
It's two directions, up and down. And then sometimes it just goes sideways and ridiculously annoying.
Yeah, for sure.
So if we know it's a repeating cycle, why do people still struggle? That is the biggest question that they have.
I think it's just human nature. Really, just looking into everything it is that you have, like really taking a look at it. It's almost like your bank statements, right? Sometimes if you go shopping too much, you're like, you know what? I just want to look at it.
Ooh, out of sight.
Out of sight, out of mind. The envelope comes in.
If I'm gonna cheat on my diet, why would I?
Yeah, you don't start counting calories, and then after you cheat, like let me just add a little bit of sauce, that dressing.
Correct.
I'll make up for it on Monday. Monday comes, it's Tuesday, next week. I think just like having like that hard self-talk, I guess.
Yep.
That talk with yourself, and really just going through it. I think that's really the only way to get through it.
And I think a lot of people don't keep score.
That's fair. It's tough though.
It's not tough. You're keeping score.
It's tough mentally for people because sometimes the truth hurts.
Okay.
Right. So you as a person, you just don't want to like see the truth.
So if you
just
stunk,
you just gotta hold yourself accountable, I
you
guess.
stunk. You're just gonna walk around with your fingers over your nose.
No, maybe you just might buy better cologne.
But what if you
I'm
don't
not saying
buy
it's the
it
right
at
thing.
all? No, just take a shower, man. Like it's so we don't have to mask it. We don't have to sweep it.
But when you have things like Febreze and extra odor coverage, it's like a false belief.
Well, I think that is a bigger conversation because now we're talking about scotomas, right? You're choosing to overlook certain things.
That's true.
And that's now problematic.
Right.
So we have to ask ourselves as a whole, right? A lot of the clients that whether they're affluent, whether they're sophisticated investors, they're novice and newbies.
Right.
What's important now? Right? Instant gratification.
Right. And being
drug.
And being realistic, right? Because everyone always wants
realistic expectations.
The best, right? No one ever goes and says,
correct.
I want the worst. I don't know. I think that's like the first step. I think just sitting back and really just being honest with yourself.
Since we're talking about inflation, right? I think inflation hurts individuals that have like lofty dreams.
In what way? Lofty in what sense?
Lofty in the sense of the instant gratification. Like I want to be able to save money,
right?
Invest, but I also want to go on trips.
That's fair.
I also want to buy luxurious items. So part of my own personal practice is I will Google, I will research what it costs to make said thing that I want and the price point at which the manufacturer or the company is soliciting it for. And if it costs like $2 to make, and they're selling it for $50, I get so disrespected. Where I'll keep it in my cart.
Feels like you're being violated.
Right? It's like I'm being violated. Like there's no way you're gonna get.
That's everything on Amazon.
Every single thing. Every single thing. Right?
Sure.
Like, and it's across the board. Like alcohol. Some of the most cheapest things to manufacture.
Absolutely.
Are the most expensive.
Everything.
So when we talk about the margins. When we talk about individuals doing the work on the front end, right? If these companies are doing it, if the banks are doing it, why don't you do that with your personal financing? And these are questions that I usually propose to humans.
Right.
To say like, it's public information, right? They're not withholding it. If they were withholding it, it'll be illegal because there's nothing that they can do.
That's fair.
When I say they, I'm talking about big business. I'm talking about affluent humans. You can cut, copy, and paste what they're doing.
It's just having that discipline to do it. That's where most people lack.
Discipline.
It's discipline. It's no different than like in the market, right? People will get very emotional.
Yep.
Investments go up and down. People panic when if they just sometimes stick with it.
Yeah.
The return most of the time is always higher.
So essentially what you're saying is...
Can't be emotional.
No emotions.
No.
And long-term planning...
Always.
...will ease that short-term gratification.
Always. Like, you go to the gym, you don't expect to get a six-pack. You want a six-pack. You want to go in there and start lifting as much as possible, running as much as possible, but it takes time. Same thing with investments, especially in a market. When it goes up, it goes down. You have to definitely hold on more or buy more, double down on the downside.
Guys, if you want to learn to be fiscally focused, click the link below and follow us.